ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the new movie Bombshell. This movie, some of you may have heard of it, some of you may have not. It's directed by Jay Roach, and it stars Charlize Theron, Nicole Kidman, and Margot Robbie. Now, there's a whole bunch of other people in this film. Let's go down. The first thing we got to talk about this movie, holy crap, it's got a great cast. So right off the bat, you got those three, very talented women that I just listed. We also got John Lithgow, Allison Janney, Malcolm McDowell, Kate McKinnon is Connie Britton, just a whole bunch of other, notable people in here. And that really does help round out the cast a bit. Now, so let's get into this. So what is this movie about? Well, it's about something that's not too far off in the past. It is about the Roger Ailes. Am I pronouncing? I always feel like I want to say Isles, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Ailes. Could be wrong. This is about the story behind the whole Fox News drama, where basically the guy who ran Fox News, Roger Ailes, he was accused of sexual harassment by somebody at the Fox News station, and this is a story of the women involved in that, whether they were getting involved this way or that way. So let's think starts off with Charlize Theron's character. She played Megyn Kelly. Most people probably know Megyn Kelly as a Fox News reporter. She had her own show on the network. But in recent years, when people bring up Megyn Kelly, probably what they bring up is her interactions with, at the time when the time period this movie is based on, which is just about 2.5 years ago, was when she hosted one of the presidential debates, one of the Republican presidential debates, in which she confronted Donald Trump, now President Donald Trump, confronted him about the way he talks about women. And then, of course, this led to the infamous comment about her, bleeding out her eyes and other parts of her body, which I won't repeat, or specify, I guess I should say. And, of course, this got Megyn Kelly in the news for more than the fact of what her show was about, her news show. In fact, I think most people, if you never heard of Megyn Kelly, that's probably what you know her for. And, hey, during a presidential debate, you get in with one of the candidates, especially a guy who was technically already a household name before. I mean, he was. Everyone knew who Donald Trump was, basically. Mostly, if you lived in New York, you've known who the guy is for decades. And if you watch The Apprentice or anything like that, of course, you know who Donald Trump is by now. But yeah, so this is about her. I'm kind of cautious. Well, how do I put this? She's technically the main character of the film, Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is technically the main character, and by that I mean we tend to follow her the most. The other characters we got Nicole Kidman playing Gretchen Carlson, and we have Margot Robbie playing Kayla Pospisil. Well, you know what? They never said her last name in the movie, and I'm seeing Pospisil. Pospisil. Kayla Pospisil. You know what? We're just going to move on from that one because I'm done embarrassing myself trying to pronounce that name, and I apologize for screwing up for the person in real life that it's based on, which I'm not. Anyway, moving on. So Megyn Kelly, she's on Fox News, and she's presented as this character despite the fact that Fox News, which in the film they, and most people, you pretty much know this already. I don't even really think Fox News denies it at this point. I don't really watch Fox News, so this is where my ignorance comes in. Of very conservative leaning news network, and Megyn Kelly does view herself as such, and you can see that she's been working with the network for a while at this time, but she's starting to speak up more and more about how women are being treated in media, and especially once again how she got into hot water when she was challenging Donald Trump about the way he treats women, and all that started to blow up and whatnot. The movie does present itself, in fact, she calls herself a conservative, how talking about that got her in trouble with other conservatives. There are points in the film after the debate in which she questioned Donald Trump, how people were coming up to her and, yelling in her face and all that stuff. And it just goes to show, holy man, when you anger somebody's fandom, holy crap, they could come at you. I mean, that's something we've discussed here on the podcast many times, not usually with, real life people in the news network, but with, in films before on the show, we've talked about how a lot of people have come at Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose Tico in the Star Wars films, in real life because they hated Rose Tico. Okay, why do you hate Kelly Marie Tran? She's not literally that character. But anyway, point is, people are coming at her in this movie, and you see her character, Megyn Kelly. She's someone who's worked very hard for her career. She's very much in a place where, she wants to do her thing, be the news, be the journalist, a TV journalist that she is, wants to do her show her way, right? But she's starting to push some buttons because she's talking about because that's in the show, in the movie, I should say, in the movie they say how Donald Trump watches Fox News, so she's got to be a little careful how she phrases things. But then things start to get heated up when Nicole Kidman's character, Gretchen Carlson, once again based on a real woman, comes out and reveals that Roger Ailes, played by John Lithgow, has sexually assaulted her in the past, and she is now suing. She's not suing Fox News, she is suing Roger Ailes. So that's when things start to blow up, and then Megyn Kelly starts to go like, wait, is this true? Well, blah, blah, how can this be true? Roger's a little, but, he wouldn't do that, right? And then we bring in other characters. Margot Robbie plays Kayla, who's like basically an intern sort of at Fox News. She's just really joined on the Fox News, and she's trying to climb the ladder. She's trying to, she just doesn't want to be like someone's, secretary or whatever have you. She wants to rise up because she really actually loves Fox News, and she wants to be a part of this. And but as the movie goes on, when she finally gets an audience with Roger Ailes, she says I can really be great for this company. And as you see in the trailer, he says, he wants to know, how loyal are you? And that makes you go like, oh wait, he's making the moves on this woman. Now this is all public knowledge. We all know what happened in real life. If you don't know what happened in real life, I won't spoil things for you. So, and that is one problem with the movie. This is far from the first time we've had a movie based on real events. Just recently, what was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did a review for the movie called Dark Water. And that was based on a real event of a lawyer who found out about this company that was dumping harmful chemicals in lands around the town he grew up in. Now, of course, that happened. That story started in the late 90s, and we see the course of the film years and years go by until we reach to the end of the story. At least the end of the story for the movie. The real story apparently is still continuing. But yeah, that's the one thing about this movie that just kind of, I don't know what bothers me. It's just this is still pretty much a very fresh story in a way, we all remember it. I remember Megyn Kelly, being in the news about the whole, her and Trump going at it. I remember Roger Ailes being accused by Gretchen Carlson in the news, because he was a big, even if you didn't know who Roger Ailes was before, you knew who he was then, because this was huge news. All the news networks were talking about this, right? Now, what I find interesting about the movie is how they display things were at Fox News. In the movie, they display Fox News when you're in that building, it's like you're in another country. Or more accurately, I should probably say, it's like a whole nother culture. They really describe how, this is what you do. Keep your mouth shut up about this. Don't tell anyone about that. Don't talk to me. I don't want to get involved in this. Here's what our viewers want to see. Sex, drama. Guns and blah 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 blah. Very much painting that the movie paints Fox News, and this, however if you're a Fox News fan, this movie might upset you. I'm just going to let you know right off the bat. Really how kind of this weird strict cultural environment that was in Fox News, just paints this, I really just, that's the best way I can describe it. It's its own culture inside this building in New York, right? And it's just it is interesting how people are trying to educate each other, Kayla, Margot Robbie's character. Like I said, she's new at Fox News, and Kate McKinnon's character is trying to show her around, tell her what's what. Don't tell anybody about this. This is what people want to hear. This is what subject you want to bring about. And it's just interesting. I really found it interesting. You don't think of it's a news station. It's about news. It's about America. It's our culture, but it's it has its own mini culture, and that part of it I actually found really interesting. As far as the acting goes, everyone did a solid job in this movie. I can't really think of anybody that was how do I put this, off or weird. Well, maybe there was one. I forget what. One actor does play Rudy Giuliani in this film, and the actor who plays him is actually a good actor. I like him. I've seen him in other things, of course. Where is he? Oh yeah, Richard Kind. Richard Kind, who's like that guy. You know his face. He's been in a bunch of things. That I go to. He played Bing Bong in Inside Out. Oh my God, Inside Out. Oh, that movie. Oh, and his what happens with his character in Inside Out? Oh my God, drop kick to the heart. But yeah, Richard Kind. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. He's been in A Bug's Life. If you were a fan of '90s sitcoms, he was in Spin City. He's that guy that he's been all over the place. You know his face. You may not know his name, but yeah. I say his was the only performance. I don't know what it was, but just something about him as Rudy Giuliani, where I just found funny. I don't know what it was. Like, it's got to be some kind of weird bias in my head that I haven't figured out yet. But it's something about him, Rudy Giuliani, I found funny. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But that was the only one I was like. It wasn't like he was performing badly. Maybe a miscast, I should say. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, going back, so yeah, I think the only problem I had with the movie is like this is still pretty recent news. Like when you had the movie Dark Waters, like where that starts back in the late '90s. Plus, information in that film, I had never known anything with that film. I mean, I learned a lot from that damn film. This is like, yeah, it was technically 2.5 years ago, but it feels like it was still just happened recently. Maybe that's just me. And I'm not against like movies being based on recent events, but maybe because it was this whole big thing and it got involved in American politics. Maybe maybe that's throwing me a little bit. You know, something else that I feel was a little bit off. I thought the pacing was a little weird. Maybe go into some slight structural issues with the story because we're kind of bouncing between Charlize Theron's Megyn Kelly and Nicole Kidman's Gretchen Carlson. And then, Margot Robbie's Kayla. We're kind of bouncing between. They're like our three leads. Megyn Kelly is the main character. If I had to pin one down, because I just felt like the movie spent the most time with her, which is weird because it's Gretchen Carlson's character that launches the lawsuit against Roger Ailes for sexual assault. So you would think the movie would be more. It's not that the movie doesn't focus on her. I would say she's just second behind Charlize Theron's Megyn Kelly character. But yeah, no, all these women put in good performances. I can't got no fault there. And I did really like John Lithgow as Roger Ailes because Roger Ailes, once again, if you know the story, if you don't know the story, sexual assaulter, right? Like he's technically the villain of the film. If you had to like say the villain or the antagonist. But they didn't just. And sometimes, like, yeah, this guy is like seems like a jerk. He seems like a monster at times. But they added a few other layers where it's like he's not. How do I put this? He's still a monster, but he's still a person with like thoughts and feelings. It's not that the movie's making him pathetic. It's making him 3-dimensional, right? Because they paint him as like I like your legs. He doesn't actually do that or go. I'm sorry if I grossed anyone now. He's not like that all the time. He's still a human being, a person with layers. He's nasty SOB, but yeah, he I like that because there's times where you can tell like he cares. He's like concerned about his wife or whatever, and he all getting caught up in all this and stuff like that, and. And there are people in the movie. That was the thing. In the movie, you see, like, because, like, Fox News, they got hundreds of people on their network, talking about news and whatnot. And you see a lot of these people going to town, and in defense of Roger Ailes. And that's part of the culture. And it also kind of feeds into what was going on with the Megyn Kelly character. Is a lot of these people kind of actually know who Roger really is, even if they don't want to admit it. But they wouldn't have careers without him, and like you can get the idea that some of these people are defending him because, like they feel like he's gone. That's it. Fox News is dead, and what were they going to go do? Then I don't know a lot about the whole like news networks. I got my buddy Chris Mohan, who was on last week's episode talking about Star Wars. Chris knows way more about politics and all news networks and all that and stuff like that. So he, if you go check out Chris, he knows more stuff about that. In fact, Chris, if you're watching, man, check this. If you get a chance, watch this movie. Tell me what you think. But yeah, it's just funny, like this, the combination of, like I said, this weird subculture within Fox News that is the Fox News network, and what people will do to like save their careers because they worked so hard or they've been through so much, and some people are in denial of other things, some people are just being blind. or just like making excuses. It's this weird environment. And the message of the film is very pro woman, and women got to stick together because if we don't stick together and help each other out, who's gonna do it? It's that sort of message. So yeah, at the end of the day, do I recommend Bombshell or do I not recommend Bombshell? I will say that I do recommend Bombshell. As I say, it's got a few problems. But overall, it's interesting. I think just like I said, the one problem is I think there's like some story structure issues because the way they bounce between. I feel like I would have preferred a little more, just like I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say like completely unfocused. It wasn't completely unfocused. Far from it. It's just like I don't know. Just like we're following Megyn Kelly, but it's like one of those like we got like almost three main characters, but one's each kind of a step down from the other, but only a slight step down. And that and just I don't know, maybe the pacing and just I felt like we were jumping around a little too much. Things like that. But yeah, I do recommend Bombshell. Once again, if you are a fan of Fox News, one of their shows or the network in general, you're probably not going to like this film. If you hate Fox News, you're probably going to love this film. And if you're indifferent, then I still think you'll get some out of this film. But either way, this movie is like it knows it's going to anger people. It does. It really does. And it does not give a damn.
Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see a full episode, I live stream every Thursday night on Facebook right after I see the movie, or you can tune in to the Revenge Online Radio Network every Friday morning at 9 a.m. If you enjoyed the show, please consider contributing to the Patreon, patreon.com/POVincent.